So, today we're going to make Greek style meatballs, or Keftedes as they're actually called out in Greece. I'm quite sure somebody who can pronounce it better than me will let me know if that wasn't quite right. I'm saying Greek style because I'm going to add a little bit of heat to it. You don't need to do that, you can just leave it a bit more plain if you like. Benchmark, I often think, is 100 grams of meat per person. So a combination if you like. Now you can just have it all mince, just beef mince. If you are just doing it all beef mince, I would try and probably go for the non-steak mince because you're needing it to have a little bit of fat in it. It's needing to stay moist. But for myself today, I'm actually using a combination of beef mince and lamb mince. But you can combine these any way you like. You could use pork mince, you could even use some turkey mince if you like. Just make sure you've got something with a little bit of fat content in it. Now mine's is going to be a bit dark, never worry about that. It's literally, I've just left it out to bring it up to room temperature. So it's absolutely fine. And we'll just pop that to the side. And then we're going to just put in some ingredients. So we're just wanting some flavourings. 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. 1/4 of a teaspoon of bicarb of soda. Now that's just to oh, I've gone and forgotten what it's to do. I know exactly what it's to do, I'll come back to that. It's to soften the meat, that's not the right word, Kenny, what I'm after?
Tenderise.
Tenderise, that's what I'm after. It's to tenderise your meat. 1/4 of a teaspoon of chilli flakes. Now, this is where I'm diverting slightly. You don't need to use the spices if you don't want to. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Now, it maybe sounds quite a lot, but there's quite a lot of meat there actually. Some people might even want a wee bit more than that. Then we'll up to the 1/2 teaspoons. So a 1/2 teaspoon of hot paprika. If I can get it out, it's almost done this one. Come on, come on. Or we'll do 2/4, might be easier. Oh, in fact, you know, I'll just go like that. We don't mind it hot. 1/2 teaspoon of mixed herbs. Oregano is fine if you don't have mixed herbs, and I've gone and used the one that was wrongly marked. So I've got thyme in mine. Never mind. I bought a jar of mixed herbs and it's actually only thyme that's in them, but never mind. I don't mind thyme, so that's fine. But mixed herbs or oregano will be better. A teaspoon of onion granules, sorry. Again, you don't need to worry about the onion granules if you don't want them. Some people like them to have a wee bit of a bite to them, so just put actual onions in. I'm getting made faces at because I'm clattering the spoons here. I'm trying to be quiet, Mr. Arbit, I'm trying to be quiet. A teaspoon of cumin. Now again, you don't need to worry about the cumin. If you don't want to make it spicy, leave it out. 2 of garlic though. You must have garlic in it. You need the garlic. And then I'll very quietly pop these to the side. Hope they don't rustle anywhere. Using a new mic, so everything's a bit got to be quiet. I'm going to start with just half my egg. See how we get on. Now this is the other thing, if you want to eke out your meat a wee bit, you can always put some breadcrumbs in it. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cough. We've had a bit of a cold. I mean, who the devil gets a cold in June? Me, apparently. So I'm going to just leave these for a few hours because we're having this tonight for dinner. But if you want, do this the night before, leave it in the fridge. But like I say, don't panic if you go to it the next day and it looks like it's gone really dark. It's literally just because you've added some flavours to it. It will be perfectly fine. You've put enough chilli in if you're using chilli to keep it fresh for an extra couple of days. But we'll just leave this here just now and then we'll come back in a wee while and continue with the recipe. So, see you in a wee while. Bye! Oh, back again. Right, we're going to just get this on the go. So I've got a frying pan already hot and I'm going to put a good glug of olive oil into it, probably 2 tablespoons. And then we want to just get these wee beauties in to start frying. Now, just to give you a rough idea, I'm only making this for 3 people, so I've ended up getting 17 small balls out of this. So you can always work and judge it from there. And that is, no, it's hot, I can hear it fine. I was going to say it maybe isn't quite hot enough. We'll just pop them all in. And then I'm going to make a wee confession. I'm going to get on at my big sister. And my big sister goes to Greece all the time and she told me to pronounce this Keftedes. But when I was giving Kenny the spelling, I thought, that's just actually how it's spelled. So we did a wee listen. So it's Keftedes, I believe is how it's pronounced. So apologies to all these people out there that will be saying that's not how you pronounce it. So we'll just let these fry up a second. They won't take very long at all. Then I'm just going to get some heat into that, and we're doing a very basic tomato sauce, a very basic ragu. So I'm using passata tonight. You don't need to buy a dear passata, you can get them right up to £2 or whatever. I think you said this one was 35 pence or something like that. So it doesn't need to be expensive at all. I want this to be smooth because the texture that you're going to have tonight is going to come from the meatballs. Just give it a little rinse out. Might as well get everything we can out of it. And then we'll just fire in some flavours. So I'm looking for my teaspoon. I've maybe not left one out this time, never mind. Right, so we've got actual mixed herbs this time. So about a teaspoon, I'll need to do it that way because it won't be big enough. Do you know what, I don't bother doing that. Anyway, about a teaspoon of mixed herbs. Another teaspoon of onion, because like I say, we're not putting in anything into this. So you're just wanting it to get some flavours. Teaspoon of mixed vegetable stock. So this is the Polish one that you know I use. So it's got all the bits of carrots and things in it. So there should be a wee bit of goodness at least. Giving these a wee flick about. And they're already starting to brown up actually. I don't know if you can see it there, Kenny, without you coming in. So just leave it like that. Just leave them to the side. A little bit of chilli flakes. A teaspoon. I'll do a teaspoon of chilli flakes. I'll leave that up to yourselves. But the usual 2 of garlic. You're still wanting this to have some flavour to it, even though it's not got, you know, any veg in it. Half a teaspoon of black pepper, and we'll just let that come up. Now, because of the fact that you've used a passata, you're not actually needing to let the tomatoes cook down or anything. So this is only going to take half an hour or thereabouts once the meatballs are actually in it. We're just going to serve this with spaghetti, just plain spaghetti. Like I said, this is only for 3. So if you're doing it for 4, you might want to add another tin of tomatoes, another passata to it, or half a tube of puree with some extra water would do just as well. Saves you maybe having some leftovers. But for the sake of speed here, we can just pop these straight in. They've browned up lovely actually, just in those minutes there. Secret hot frying pan, ready to go. And we're just wanting to pop these straight in. And these will just cook away, they won't take long, they're not big. Don't worry if they break up a little. They shouldn't. I only use half an egg, but then that was because I was only making for 3. If you've got any worries at all, just put the whole egg in and then that'll bind it. Now I'm going to put the juice or the fat in there. If you don't want to do that, I would tell you to advise you to put a tablespoon of olive oil into this. And then we're just going to leave this half an hour. After 15 minutes, come and taste it, because your tomatoes may just be a little bit sharp and you would want to add just a touch of sugar to it. But apart from that, that is basically your meatballs ready. Half an hour. We'll just get the spaghetti on and we'll see you in a wee while. Bye! Okay, everything's good to go. Ended up just being 2 of us now. As is often the way with families, things change very quickly. So I'm using bowls tonight because with having just used the passata, it's quite a loose sauce. So you want to be able to catch your sauce. And that plate, Kenneth, is roasting hot. Excuse my fingers, but it's only us. It won't matter, I'm sure. So, just a dot of spaghetti. And then what I'm wanting to do here, if that will stay up, probably not, is put the sauce on first. So as the sauce has the chance to work its way down through the spaghetti, and then you'll be able to just capture some of the meatballs over the top. Just give it a wee bit of a stir up because it's slightly separated. That's just the oils from the tomatoes. I love that look actually. Same when you're making Indian food. That's often how you know the tomato based sauces are ready, when you can just see the sheen of oil, it splits slightly, so your tomatoes have cooked down. I didn't need to actually come and put salt sauce. Start again. I didn't need to come and put sugar into this tonight. It was perfectly sweet tomato sauce. A little bit spicy, but that's just the way we like it. And then I'll just pop 2 or 3 of these lovely meatballs onto the top. Many do you think? Any 5? We'll go for 5 for you. Go on, lad. A wee bit more sauce just round the sides. Only I was forgetting it would be on the underside there, but that's okay. And then just a dot of parmesan over the top. And there you have my version of Greek style meatballs. I only call them Greek style because I use lamb mince in it. But anyway, it's my version of Greek style meatballs. So I do hope you give it a try, and as always, let me know how you get on. If you need to have any update on the recipes and things, as always you find it on the orkneynews.scot. You can find us on YouTube under the Orkney News, and just give us some feedback, let us know how you get on, and thank you very much for watching. Bye!